Good morning and welcome back to This Old Boat. I'm Captain Steve, and as always you can reach us at captain.andiamo@gmail.com for any comments and suggestions. Asking for your support as well. If you have sponsoring opportunities, we would love to hear from you. And so without further ado, let's get on with some activities today. Now today we're going to be down in the engine compartment again doing some battery work. This is an important aspect on boats, and you can see I have my protective eyewear on this morning because anytime you're dealing with acids you want to make sure you protect your eyes. We'll be showing you how to take the batteries and get them recharged with some distilled water, which you can buy at any grocery store, and make sure you check your battery levels. There's all kinds of fancy ways to do this, but the first step in this process is to go ahead and shut off your battery charger on the boat. Make sure the batteries aren't being charged while you're doing this operation. So hopefully these steps will help you in keeping your batteries nice and filled up, because they do evaporate out. And again, most boats have several batteries, all requiring distilled water. So check them frequently, and you should have good battery life. We're going to start today with the battery disconnection in the boat. You can see how this battery has been leaking some of its water out the sides, and this is some past area here that's been leaking. We'll be disconnecting it, and I like to take it outside so I can check the battery box itself and also make sure that it's clean and dry in there. Looking at the casing of the battery itself and making sure that there's no protrusions, cracks, bumps, or problems with the battery itself. So we'll be taking off the connections and then removing it and taking it upstairs so we can look at it. Alright, we have the battery outside. Our first step is really to clean it off. We don't want to open these casings here with a lot of dirt around. So you can see how it's got a lot of sand and grime all the way kind of around it. We're going to clean all that off, make sure that it's dried before we open up these casings. Okay, we've opened up the cells and gotten the lids off. A lot of these things will just pop right off, but you can use a screwdriver to kind of get under it to give it some lift. Now the cells are a little low, and we know that because they should really be up to the bottom of the fill areas, and if you look down in there, you can see that they're just about a 1/4 inch too low. Some batteries today have clear on the outside, and you can actually see the fluid level, but the water should be filling. Now we're going to of course use distilled water that we bought at Publix, and we've put that into a water bottle that we're going to be using to gently fill up the cells. So as we fill them, we're going to be watching very carefully that the plates are getting covered and that everything we don't want to overfill the cells, but we want to make sure that we're getting enough water in there, because they do evaporate out. Okay, you can see that the cells are full. They took a lot of water. They were pretty low, especially the end ones. They should be up to the bottom of the fill tubes, is kind of the guiding light for that idea. I'm going to put the caps on lightly just to get it back in the boat, but then we're going to be taking the caps back off and turning the power back on to the battery charger and letting the battery bubble out before we replace the caps permanently on this battery. So we're going to take it back in the boat now. We've got the battery back in the boat, and of course before we put our connections back on, we're going to go ahead and put a little petroleum jelly on both of our positive and negative connections. Again, that is just a precaution for anything that happens to our stuff, and it's a good idea to do it on all things. So we're going to be hooking it back up. Then we'll be turning the battery charger back on. We're going to leave these cells open. We're going to watch for the bubbling action that should occur inside the cells as the battery recharges, and then we will check the voltage, and we should be all set to go with this battery. Alright, the battery charger is on, and you can see how the bubbles are coming up in the system, and that is all a good thing happening for this battery. And we'll let it bubble out, and again, you want to keep it open and ventilated because these are pretty noxious gases coming out of the battery, so make sure that you've got your panels open and give it about a half an hour to kind of bubble out. Then put your panels back on and seal it up, and you are all set, and your batteries will hopefully last a good long time. Check them frequently, make sure the fluid levels are good. Have a great day. I want to thank you for spending a little bit of your day with us here aboard Andiamo and this old boat, and I want to leave you with this lovely sunset that we are having here on board this evening. Have a great day.